All right. Hey, good morning. I'm meteorologist Ben Peine here live from the kitchen, dining room, whatever you want to call it, living room behind me. Today I'm not in the Extol Media Studios because we've got some exciting things happening in this new year. Our Extol folks are going to be moving from one building to another. So we've got some new digs that we're going to be doing. So I'll be heading over there later, um, helping to carry some things about a block over. So that's exciting. We're going to have some new partnerships in the new year that you'll hear about. And I might kind of add a new career, and we'll talk about that as well. So, fun things happening in the new year to keep things exciting. Well, happy Monday. It's kind of the day we're getting back to normal here for our first full work week of 2026 here on this Monday, January the 5th. I would like to just maybe kind of slow this year down just a little bit. It seemed like 2025 was a race. It just kind of flew by. So I hope you guys are off to a good start. Looking out the window here, we have some beautiful blue skies out there. I do see some contrails up in the sky created by some of the airplanes flying over, some moisture in the upper deck of the atmosphere helping to produce that. And we are going to see for this week warm temperatures. We're going to be running about 10 to 20 degrees above normal for this time of the year. And that means 50s and 60s. Eventually, you've probably learned this pattern by now that when it gets warmer this time of the year in January, February, it can get wetter. That will happen before the weekend, Thursday, Friday. Thursday, warm front, Friday, cold front. And then we might see a couple flurries on Sunday. And I've been looking at the longer range data, kind of trying to find out when winter might kind of return. And it looks like maybe the last couple weeks, especially the last week of January, we may see the return of some colder weather, much colder weather, and maybe some snow chances as well. So the first half of this month looks like will be the warmer half than the last half. So plenty to talk about here. We're going to time out that rainfall for later this week. I think we will have some thunder, especially on Friday. Right now, it's a low threat of severe weather with this system for Thursday and Friday. But we've seen two systems that have brought low-end severe weather threats over the last month. And both systems did cause a couple issues with some damaging winds. So we'll talk more about that and look way ahead down the long-range outlook for us here as well on this Monday. So thanks for joining me. This is Ben at 10. This is your daily weather show for Southern Indiana and beyond throughout the Ohio Valley. And if you want to drop in the comments, have a weather question, let us know where you're watching from, maybe just a good morning, feel free to do that. Thanks for liking or sharing our live stream this morning. And thanks for watching, whether it's on my page here, Meteorologist Ben Peine, P-E-I-N-E, Extol Weather on Facebook, Extol Media on YouTube, and extolmag.com/weather on the good old World Wide Web. So again, we'll be taking a look at that forecast here, give you a look at some current conditions. We always take a deep dive for the first 20 minutes. We've got your weather jokes, your weather history, your weather countdown. And then after 10:20 is typically when we dig into the weather models, if you want to stick around and get real down and nerdy with the weather. And we'll do a recap a little bit later on for those folks. Hey, Tim Furnish, one of the first ones popping in the comments here this morning. So thanks for tuning in here, Tim, and getting things going in the comments section. And we also have, hey, it's been a while here. We got a lot of comments already here this morning. So Orlean Whitlow, a good morning from Hodgenville. Beautiful morning, 35 degrees. Thanks for that backyard temperature there. I hope it's climbing. It is going to be climbing. It's going to be nice this afternoon. Not too breezy. Southwest wind around 5 to 15. We're talking temperatures today in the mid 50s. Orlean, you might hit the upper 50s down south there in LaRue County. And then tomorrow we're going to be looking at lower 60s and maybe a couple sprinkles. So temperatures are going in the right direction. Beverly Haggis, good morning from Borden, Indiana. We've got Dennis Gregory with a sunny Monday. One walk done. Number 2 up on deck post lunch. Do you ever get 3 walks in a day, Dennis? Morning, lunch, dinner? If so, you're putting us all to shame. Hey, Christian Walker, been a while. Thanks for dropping in here. 38 degrees up there in Carmel, Indiana. It was a good New Year's, and we're hoping and praying that it'll be a great 2026. Very sorry to hear you lost one of your fur babies. That is very tough to do. But glad to hear you are good, Christian. That is always super tough. Been through that before. Beverly Haggis won't be here tomorrow. We got a doctor's appointment. Hope everything goes well for you. And another Happy New Year's from Christian Walker. Lillian Lasley with 42 degrees at the house. Starting to warm up there. John Fox with a good morning. And then it's not often a threefer, but I should since I didn't do any last week. It's time for me to get back on the horse as well, start the lifting and the running and all that fun stuff. It is definitely good for the mental stuff to get out there and do the runs and everything. All right, here's a look at our radar and satellite, guys, as we start to look at the weather. Look how quiet it is. Again, we just have some high, thin clouds, some cirrus clouds up there with some airplane contrails. There's been some snow reports well to the north, up around Michigan and the UP, the Upper Peninsula of Michigan and northeastern Wisconsin. But that's that snow that's now moving into New York. And as we look way out west, very, very quiet conditions. We're going to stay pretty quiet tomorrow as well, other than maybe, again, a few sprinkles in that forecast for our Tuesday. Here's a look at our weather headlines for today. Milder 50s today. So we're going to be running about 10 to 15 degrees above normal today. Our normal high is 43. We'll be in the lower 60s tomorrow. So that's almost 20 degrees above normal for this time of the year. We have some rain for Thursday and Friday, maybe some thunderstorms as well, especially Friday as the cold front moves through. So Thursday is warm front, Friday is cold front. Some of that rain might linger into early Saturday, and then much of the weekend will be dry, but we might see some flurries on Sunday. In fact, the Euro in the Canadian weather model showed a decent chance of maybe a light coating of snow early Sunday, but the GFS, much drier than that. Nonetheless, we'll be taking a look at that as well as that rain before the weekend. So, as we often say here on the show, plenty to cover and to talk about here this morning. I'm going to bring back up the look at some current conditions out there now this morning. And we'll take a live look outside as well, as it is a beautiful start to the Monday. Hope it's a good start to a great day for all of you guys. And let me get rid of this and bring this up to the stage here. Look at that sunshine. So those are contrails. Those are some of the condensation trails from some of the airliners, the airplanes traveling through a moist layer of air up in the higher altitudes. So there's some moisture up there, but a lot of sunshine as well to enjoy. As this is a live view at the Falls of the Ohio Foundation.org camera. And we've got Perry Porter popping in the comments here with New Year's to drink more coffee. That's the resolution. Just drink more coffee. Keep the fuel, the gasoline going here. I am on very large cup number 2. For most people, this would probably be the amount of a third cup, but we're cruising along here on a Monday. All right, let me get rid of that. Let's go to extolmag.com/weather. That is extolmag.com/weather. We have interactive maps where you can play along. We've got the live stream up. Thanks again for liking or sharing, subscribing. That is the feed from YouTube. I know Perry there is watching from YouTube. I can kind of see where you guys are watching from. 35 degrees is our current temperature. Wind gust at 14. So winds today around 5 to 15, but that airflow is coming in from the southwest, and that is helping to get those temperatures quickly above normal today. On the right side here, you got 3 tabs. It's got your daily forecast through the next 7 or 8 days right there. And then you've got your hourly forecast. That takes us right up into the 50s. You see the different weather variables with the time there by them. You've got your brand new 7-day forecast that I posted this morning, the brand new weather story that takes a little deeper dive into our weather situation. You've got your regional and national weather maps with any watches or warnings, and a look at Indiana weather and traffic maps, rivers, lake levels. Here is the gray interactive map, which has, again, dozens of different weather layers. Clicking on the satellite image here, and we just see some of those high clouds around our area right now. But overall, mostly sunny. So looking great out there. Plotting the temperatures here across the region. Notice the wind flow on this map. You can see that coming in from the southwest. So that has put us to 41 degrees in Louisville right now, 39 in Bloomington, Elizabethtown 41, Lexington 41, Evansville at 41 degrees. So really, we have a milder situation across much of the U.S. this week, and the really cold stuff is still up here in Siberia and Alaska and the northern portions of Canada. And it looks like we might get the jet stream to bring some of that down maybe the last couple weeks of January. So we'll take a look at the long range here in just a second with that. Hey, Kathy Kreider, thanks for tuning in this morning and dropping in the comments. Thanks for that shout out there, Christian Walker. Thanks for the support. Appreciate that. All right, we're cruising right along here. And before we take that deep dive into your forecast, I want to thank our partners, as always, Lyons Roofing, Lyons Roofing, co.com. This is where you get a free quote, protecting your most valuable asset for a lifetime. And you can also call them, 812-294-3595. You can see the services they offer right here on their page: re-roofing, leak repair, metal roof, new construction, commercial roofing, gutters, and downspouts. You can see all the reviews and everything right there and their services. And they've got a lot of drone work also that you can check out on their Facebook page. That is Lyons Roofing. Also want to thank our partners here at Ivy Tech Community College. It is a new year. They are gearing up for their spring sessions. If you want to learn more, you go to locations. Just click Sellersburg and boom, you belong here. They are nestled right there at Highway 311 and I-65, 9 miles north of Louisville. And a reminder, you can always, if you want to learn more, or you have a high schooler that wants to learn more about their opportunities, ways to actually get free credits. Can't beat free college credits. Tuesdays at the Tech will help you get started with one-on-one information, campus tour, personalized admissions appointment to discuss your goals and next steps, career coaching, financial aid, scholarships, way to pay for college, assistance with veterans benefits. In-depth visit will get you going. If you're ready, they can help you register right there. That is Ivy Tech Community College in Sellersburg. If you want some help with some insurance needs, that's the guy right there, Michael Long, amfam.com, and then search Michael Long, or you can call him 812-578-3072. Call to get a quote. You might find some ways to save, which we have recently done, thanks to the app, student discounts, signing up for life insurance, bundling, and you can save more. Also, I want to thank our partners here at Libs Paving, the top asphalt paving contractor around. I just want to tell you that they have some careers for the new year. They are going to be working this week with some dry weather, and you might be able to apply here. Or if you know someone that needs an opportunity, boom, right there. You go to libspaving.com and just head to the careers section. All right, we're getting going on a beautiful Monday morning here. Nice to start off our first full work week of the new year here with sunshine and temperatures on the rise as well, as we will make it into the 50s right after lunchtime today. So good stuff out there. I'm going to bring this up real quick too as well. Hey, if you ever want to ask me a question or learn more about our advertising solutions, you can email me, Ben at extolmag.com, or Jason at extolmag.com to learn more. We can be your megaphone here in Southern Indiana and beyond. Oh, we got somebody out there fishing here this morning. It's hard to see, but he's right here on this tip. Well, hopefully he gets a good catch. I'm a little jealous he's out there throwing in the line. All right, let's get to your forecast here this morning. Get rid of that. Add this. And again, milder 50s for today, lower 60s tomorrow. Might pick up a couple sprinkles tomorrow afternoon. Should not be a big deal. Good morning, dude. Rain Thursday, Friday, and then maybe some flurries toward the end of the weekend. Some chillier air moves back in. So how many days until? We've got 11 days until what is typically the coldest part of the year. We might switch around that time. That's the 16th of January toward a colder, more winter-like pattern. So we'll see about that. And we'll look ahead at the long range here in just a second. 46 days until average highs are climbing back into the 50s. That is around February 20th. Our time change in 62 days as we spring forward an hour and head towards are 8 p.m. sunsets. And then spring, 73 days away. That is March 20th. Our weather history for today: 1880, snow in Seattle, over 5 feet recorded in a week. In 1884, here's the crazy weather that we could have in our area. So today we're doing a lot better than we did in 1884. Temperatures never rose above zero. It started in the morning at 20 below zero and had a high of 1 below zero back in the day. 1892, Fayetteville, Georgia. An EF3 struck, killing 3 people. In 1888, Sacramento, California, had snow there. 1962, in Crestview, Florida, 2 parallel tornadoes killed 1, injured 30. In 2012, in the Great Plains, warming up into the 60s as far as North Dakota. Phillips, South Dakota, hit a record of 74 degrees. Our stupid weather jokes of the day. Shout out to all my fingers. I can count on all of them. My car looks nice, but the muffler looks exhausted. I've got one like that. All right. No offense to my vegan friends out there, but when 2 vegans get into an argument, is it still called a beef? Those are your free stupid weather jokes of the day. All right. Here's the forecast for today. Our sunset at 5:37, mostly sunny, high of 56, well above our normal high of 43 for this time of the year, and southwest winds at around 5 to 15 miles per hour. And I was just looking at some comments. So we got Mike Whaley coming in here this morning. Thanks for dropping in. Yeah. Oh, there we go. Perry talking about the 1970s. Hopefully we can dodge something like that for a long time. Robin, loving the weather history. Beverly, loving the jokes. Christian, loving the jokes. Lillian, loving the jokes. Orlean, loving the jokes. And by the way, if you want to help out with the content of this show, you can email me or message me or whatever some of your stupid jokes as well, as we're running thin these days on it. All right, so enjoy that beautiful day out there. 46 our low for tonight. Partly cloudy, not as cold. So our low temperatures typically in the upper 20s this time of the year. 46 is our low for tonight. And our forecast tomorrow, so out the door in the 40s, 50s at noon, 62 tomorrow afternoon. I think we'll see the clouds thickening up a bit in the afternoon tomorrow, with a slight chance for a few sprinkles, especially for areas east of I-65. Mostly dry, though, for tomorrow. All right, here's that big 7-day forecast. So weak front moves through tomorrow with that sprinkle chance, just a touch cooler, upper 50s, but some sunshine for Wednesday. As we head through our Thursday, a warm front will be lifting over the area. That'll give us a chance for some showers with a high of 63 and 60s Friday ahead of the cold front that'll also be moving in slowly. So kind of a slow-moving front Friday into Saturday morning with some more chances of some rain there. I think this adds up to probably about 1 to 2 inches of rainfall, so a good soaker. But I think we'll be all right as far as any flooding potential. As I mentioned earlier, there's a lot of wind energy. There's low CAPE or fuel, convective available potential energy for thunderstorms for Friday. But there could be some thunderstorms that move through with that cold front Friday. We've had a couple of low-end severe weather threats over the last month that brought some really gusty winds. It could be kind of a similar situation that we'll keep an eye on, but still a low threat overall of any severe weather. We keep a chance of a little bit of light precipitation in the forecast for early Saturday, and then we'll begin to look drier Saturday afternoon, but chillier as we fall to the 40s Saturday, upper 30s on Sunday. And some of the data here is showing a chance for maybe some flurries around early Sunday, and then 42 on Monday. So that takes us to the 12th. So next week we get into mid-January already. And then beyond that, we might start to trend colder and colder. At least that's kind of the trend for the long range that I'm seeing in some of the data right now. All right. That's the forecast. We'll start to fire up the weather model. And Christian heading back to school tomorrow. And Christian, yes, you'll get that rain as well later this week. And Alice with a good morning sunshine. Beautiful sunshine out there for today. Good to see it. All right. All right. So let me get rid of this and add back to the stage here a look at our weather graphics, which shows very quiet conditions over much of the United States. Let's fire up tomorrow and see if any of this precipitation shows up on the models, as it is very light if we see any for our Tuesday. Again, basically a sprinkle chance for us, but we'll check it out. We'll bring up the HRRR, the high resolution rapid refresh weather model. I'm going to jump ahead to the 6th, and we'll go to around noon tomorrow. Okay, so it does show up a little bit of a sprinkle chance here. You can see if you look close, there's a little bit of light green here. But notice it's mostly, if you look close, east of I-65 with this little sprinkle chance tomorrow. So not a big deal with that. That'll cruise on through. So that's the HRRR, the NAM 3-kilometer weather model, also showing just a little bit of these sprinkles here around the region. Again, very, very light stuff. Not a big deal. Might be able to wipe a few drops off your windshield tomorrow as that cruises on through. And then we're back to very quiet conditions for our Wednesday. All right, I'm going to bring up the GFS weather model as we look ahead to our next good chance of rain. We got a meowing cat you might be able to hear. Christian, just a sec. We'll get that up here in just a second. And let's go ahead and jump ahead to our Thursday, January the 8th. That's when we'll have a warm front moving in. So this is, we don't want total precipitation. We want the reflectivity. And here we go. A more active weather pattern late this work week. So now I'm going into 1 p.m. So we might end up mostly dry Thursday morning, and then the rain chances increasing as we head into Thursday afternoon. The heart of the system out to our west over Missouri Thursday. We've got the warm front that'll be arcing over the region. That'll keep us in the 60s Thursday, and that'll give us that rain chance right there. And then Thursday evening there for you, Christian, there's your rain chance. This is Thursday at 7 p.m. So that I'm giving it like a 40% chance of rain Thursday. Not going to be a washout. Might be dry for the first half of the day, getting wetter as we head into the afternoon as that warm front lifts to the north. That is our Thursday. Now, then we have a slow-moving front moving in Friday. This is going into our Friday morning. And it gives us some rain here. This is 7 a.m. Friday. And then kind of another wave of wet weather travels along that slow-moving front to keep rain around into Friday afternoon. This is at 1 p.m. Friday, 4 p.m. Friday, 7 p.m. Friday. And then on this very back side of this sluggish system, it keeps just a little bit of a light rain chance here into our Saturday morning. So we got a few gloomy days, but at least it'll be mild Thursday, Friday, and then some chillier air working in behind the system for Saturday. So it looks like as we dry out Saturday afternoon, those temperatures begin to drop behind the front. And let's bring up those temperatures here. So showing some 40s across the region by Saturday afternoon. If it is a touch breezy, it's going to feel a little bit colder than that. Wind chills Saturday could be in the 30s here. It's a little pocket of some chillier temperatures dropping into the region. There you can see that from the north. But the extreme cold, notice, is still locked up. But it just keeps getting worse up there. Minus 50s. towards the North Pole. This is some rough stuff north of the Great Lakes in the minus teens and minus 20s. So this would be kind of defined as Arctic air up here in the North Pole. This would be polar air north of the Great Lakes, and then modified polar air dropping toward our area as far as air masses. But I don't see that extreme color dropping down anytime soon. Now back to the reflectivity. I'm going to go to the precipitation type. Let's go into Saturday night, Sunday morning. So we need to go to the 11th. And with this northwest flow that kicks in, it's not really showing a whole lot here. But the European weather model and the Canadian weather model are showing a better chance of some flurries passing through, maybe a little bit of a light dusting early Sunday. So we'll see if that pattern continues to happen. But nonetheless, some colder temperatures for. Hey, Brady, will you mind getting that door? We had our dog Desi can let herself inside, but she won't close the door for herself. All right, let's go back to temperatures for our Sunday. Going to be chilly around the region, showing upper 30s for highs on Sunday. So winter-like temperatures returning this weekend after winter takes a break through the work week. All right, let's go longer range and see if we ever see that more extreme cold drop our direction. I'm more interested around the 16th, perhaps, of January. So I'm going to go kind of day by day here as we look ahead. Here's the 12th. So this takes us into next Monday, a week from now. Nothing crazy there. And by nothing crazy, it's just kind of normal temperatures. This is the 13th. It'll be a Tuesday. What I'm watching and what you should be watching too is this. That's the extreme cold, and just seeing if it ever drops back our direction. And we're going into the 14th. So this, I believe, is Wednesday. That really cold air is still to the north. Going into 15th, I believe, is a Thursday of next week, showing some 20s and 30s around our area. So gradually getting colder. The extreme stuff still north. Going into the 16th. So a couple Fridays from now. But I am interested in what might be falling from the sky during this time. It's not showing much here. Trying to find some snowflakes on the map. All right, let's go back to tips. And this is the 16th, showing 20s around the area. Cold, but not super extreme cold. All right, going into the 17th. We're 300 hours out with the GFS weather model. Nothing crazy there. Into the 18th of January. There we start to see that Arctic air trying to head our direction. Does that correlate with a dive in the jet stream? We fire up the jet stream map. And okay, so we do see a dip in the jet stream here. So if we do get this to drop our direction, that might unlock some of that polar air around that time. Back to our temperature map. We're about to go as far out as the GFS weather model will go. The really cold stuff up here to the north, but we're just kind of on the edge of it. This is the 19th of January, showing temps here in the 20s for highs around the region. So overall, looking at a colder pattern, perhaps for the last couple of weeks of January. Looks like this work week might be the warmest week we see in a long time. We got Amber Terry popping in the comments from Bedford, Indiana. Thanks for tuning in from Bedford. We got Dennis in here from Bedford as well. Christian saying the Christmas tree is still up. We took ours down, I'd say a week ago. But we still have like winter decorations up. All right, we're pushing ahead here to 375 hours out. This is January the 20th. Cold weather still around the region, and this is as far out as the GFS weather model will go, and it shows cold air trying to get closer to our region. So there we go. So my guess would be, again, warm this week, above normal temperatures. We can bring up the Climate Prediction Center's outlook, which will be above normal here for the short term. But then I'd say last 2 or 3 weeks of January, we're going to trend on the chillier side. Maybe go below normal. Normal high is 43 throughout much of the month of January. So a little below normal puts us in highs maybe in the 20s and 30s. And if we can get some systems to move through that colder air, we might get some snow chances as well. Let's bring up the Climate Prediction Center's outlook. And then we'll go back and look at the rain amounts for this Thursday and Friday. This is the CPC, the Climate Prediction Center's 6 to 10 day outlook. Which has us in much of the United States in the above normal category here, 6 to 10 day outlook. So over the next week or so, 8 to 14 day outlook. So this will take us out to mid-January or so. And it's got us kind of near normal, slightly above normal out west. So nothing crazy there. And now I'm going to bring back up the GFS weather model. And we'll look at the total precipitation. For this week. So let's stop at Saturday morning, the 10th. Here we go. This shows like 1 inch amounts. European model was showing a little higher than that. But I could see us picking up around 1 to 2 inches Thursday, Friday, into Saturday morning. Let me clear that out. And I'm going to go back to our Friday, the 9th. This is the available energy for thunderstorms. So there is some CAPE here. It's not much. So this is what we would consider high shear, low CAPE. So you got a lot of wind, but not much fuel for the thunderstorms. So this would be a low threat event for Friday as the cold front moves through our area. There are some pretty good wind speeds, though. This is the winds at about 5,000 feet. We've seen this 2 times here over the last month or so. Very strong winds. If we get some of those winds to come down with some gusty rain showers, we can get some isolated wind damage. But again, the overall threat is low as far as any kind of severe weather events. But this is Friday with a lot of strong winds aloft. 500 millbar winds. These are the winds at around 18,000 feet. So we got kind of a jet passing through, showing 80 to 100 mile per hour winds, kind of the mid-level of the atmosphere. And there's the overall jet stream pattern for Friday. And when we see the jet stream, like this, and the cold front is also like that, that slows the cold front down. So that means it'll probably be pretty wet for a Thursday afternoon, Friday, maybe even a Saturday morning. It's kind of a slow moving system, but on the warm side. Bringing up our temperature map here. So this is our Friday. It shows temperatures in the 60s. So we're on the warm side here through Friday afternoon before that cold front moves through Friday night. I'm going to back this up to our Thursday afternoon. Warm front lifts north, and most of us are on the warm side of that as well, with some 60s across the region. So there we go. All right, I think that's all to look at here with the weather models. And since we went 384 hours out to January 20th, that has been. The good old Ben All Them segment. Beautiful sky out there. We've got sunshine and some high cirrus clouds out there. That's evidence of some moisture in the upper levels of the atmosphere out there, filtering out just a little bit of that sunshine. But a gorgeous day. Enjoy those above normal temperatures. Let's get a look at your forecast recap here as we roll along on a Monday. So we'll go ahead and get rid of that right there. Robin, yes, Friday the 9th, the Peach Bowl. Go Hoosiers. Down in Atlanta, I believe. Yes, indeed. Got to keep it rolling. All right. And Christian mentioning that the 19th is Martin Luther King Day. Bringing up the forecast here for you guys. Milder 50s for today for your January 5th. Low 60s for tomorrow. Rain is in that forecast for Thursday and Friday. Maybe a few thunderstorms passing through Friday. And maybe some flurries as some chillier air begins to move back in for Sunday. Our countdown continues 11 days until what is typically the coldest part of the year, but I think that'll lag a little bit later than that. 46 days until average highs are in the 50s. That's around February 20th. 62 days until our time change in March 8th, and 73 days until March 20th, which is the beginning of springtime. Our weather history for today, one that sticks out to me, is that on this day in 1884, unlike our 50s this afternoon, it never rose above zero in Louisville. Started off at 20 below zero that morning and only reached a high of -1. It's cool that we have records that go all the way back to the 1800s. We got a good morning from Tammy and Vicky. Thanks for tuning in here from Louisville, from the 40213. And our stupid weather jokes of the day. Shout out to all my fingers. I can count on all of them. My car looks nice, but the muffler looks exhausted. And when shout out to my vegan friends here. It's a vegan joke. When do two vegans get into an argument? Is it still called a beef? All right, your forecast today, Monday, January 5th, mostly sunny, 56. It's a milder day out there. Southwest winds around 5 to 15. You might hear my dog walking around the floor. Tonight, 46, our low temperature. So not as chilly out there and well above normal. Normal lows are 29. And our forecast tomorrow, 40s out the door, 50s at noon, and maybe just a light jacket. Tomorrow afternoon, 62. There could be a couple sprinkles out there tomorrow afternoon with some extra clouds, but a lot of the day is looking dry. Have a great day. Lillian, thanks for tuning in. And our 7-day forecast, it is a weak front that moves through, that sprinkle chance tomorrow. So just a touch cooler Wednesday with some sunshine, upper 50s. So looking pretty quiet here for us and mild through midweek. We stay on the warm side of a front Thursday, Friday. Some scattered showers developing with a warm front Thursday. Slow-moving cold front Friday keeps us in the 60s. Might pick up around an inch of rainfall by Friday night total. And then we could still keep a few light rain showers into early Saturday morning as temperatures drop to the 40s Saturday. Upper 30s, a bit chillier Sunday with a chance for maybe a couple flurries floating around early Sunday. That shouldn't cause any problems if that happens. And then Monday, 42 degrees. All right, there it is. There's the Monday forecast here for you guys. Want to remind you, as always, you can always get a hold of me right here at ben@extolmag.com. If you ever want to learn more about advertising marketing solutions here with Extol Weather, Extol Media, and getting millions of views here over the last 28 days or so. So if you ever want to see your brand on our products, our content, let us know, and we can help you out with that. Now, heading back over here to extolmag.com, looking at some of our current conditions here. And let me scroll down to one of our interactive maps and plot on the temperatures as we start to make our way into the 40s here this morning. Started off right around freezing with some frost in our yard, and now already starting to warm up nicely with that sunshine and that southwest breeze. That southwest breeze is key today to getting us up into the 50s here very shortly. So that is one interactive map they can play around with. We've got another interactive map right here. Upper right-hand corner, there is an orange button, and it's got your satellite, your visible satellite, which actually shows some of the contrails, some of the airplanes, some of the exhaust from the airplanes creating those condensation trails. You can see there. Get your wind map, which is showing this nice south flow. High pressure anchored to our east, keeping us high and dry. Air flows out and around high pressure in a clockwise fashion. So we're now getting into that southern fetch of air that is helping to warm things up around our region. There are dozens of weather layers there, though, if you ever want to play around with all that fun stuff. And once again, I want to thank our partners here for allowing us to do what we do on the Ben at 10 show and our weather content throughout the day. Lyons Roofing, Lyons. They're right here in our backyard in southern Indiana, but they got you covered on both sides of the river throughout Louisville Metro. You can give them a call, 812-294-3595. You can get free quotes here online at lyonsroofingco.com. Also, a reminder, tomorrow is Tuesdays at the Tech. It's every Tuesday where you can get registered to learn more about the offerings here at ivytech.edu. Go to locations, go to Sellersburg right there. Boom. And it'll be a nice day to check out the campus tomorrow. Or, again, you can sign up for any Tuesday right here. Very easy and user-friendly website at Ivy Tech Community College, Sellersburg. But you can customize your visit. Learn more about how to get even free credits if you're in high school, like my kids have done. Or if you're ready to make a career change or level up or get a certification, great nursing school there too. You can see all that they have to offer right there at ivytech.edu. Or again, get on that one-on-one information. Here is amfam.com. Specifically, if you search Michael Long, it'll take you to my insurance agent who can help you out with your insurance needs. It might be life insurance, car insurance, home insurance, a lot of different things you might need to insure, including yourself. So you can call 812-578-3072 to get a quote from Michael Long right there. Also talking about some opportunities, Libs Paving, top asphalt paving contractor around. You go to the career section, and that will take you to maybe your new opportunity or maybe a family member or a friend that needs an opportunity or new career. Here you can see there are job openings there for the new year. You can check that out. And we've got enjoy your rest of your day there, Christian Walker. Thanks for tuning in here this morning. And Christian, we do have a Wednesdays with Weddington coming up this Wednesday with Brad Weddington. So stay tuned for that. Hey, tomorrow we'll be taking a look at just some more fine tuning with the rainfall later this week. We'll continue to track if the latter portions of our January still look colder and colder. So we'll be, as always, taking a look at the long range outlook. Thanks for tuning in on a Monday, January the 5th. We will see you tomorrow morning. All right. And again, live from inside the house today because we are kind of in transition mode at Extol Media in New Albany, switching buildings, a lot of new stuff happening, maybe some extra career things happening this year. So stay tuned. We've got some fun announcements here in early 2026. So stick with us. And thanks for liking or subscribing, whether it's on my page, Meteorologist Ben Peine, Extol Weather on Facebook, Extol Media on YouTube, and extolmag.com/weather on the good old World Wide Web. You guys make it a good Monday. Enjoy that sunshine out there.